Hello, everyone.
Hi.
We're so glad you're here today. Welcome to How to Be a Grown Up. This is the how to show with at least one host who wishes that she had listened to her mother a little bit more when she was younger. Hi, Mom. I'm Caitlin, and with me today, co hosting for Jenny, is Ariella Monti, who is the author of Roots in Ink and a sophisticated newborn baby with a PhD in awesome.
Yes, I'm so glad you acknowledged that PhD. It took so long for me to get.
You worked hard for that one.
I worked hard for that one. It wasn't as easy as my degree in underwater basket weaving. That one was just simple. I actually had to work for the one in awesome.
I used to say stuff like that to my students. I'd be like, one day you'll be as awesome as me. Well, maybe close. You won't get this awesome, but that's part of my job as your teacher is to help you get some of this awesomeness into you. So, uh,
Yes.
just a fun little tidbit about the way that I used to roast my kids. Anyway, um, just a little warning, we're talking about moms today, and if that's a painful topic for you, we completely understand, and we encourage you to take the emotional space that you need around this episode. um, and with that, Mother's Day is nearly here. When we're recording this, Mother's Day is upcoming, so I thought it would be fun to honor the moms in our lives by sharing the stuff that mom was right about. Because oh man, there's so much, and 40-year-old me just needs to just go back and smack 16-year-old me in the face and be like, okay, mom, I got it. I got it. So,
I get it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, this, a lot of this comes from you and I, obviously. Uh,
Right, right.
but there's also, I reached out for some support on Reddit because it is the birthplace of the internet or whatever. That's not what the line is. It doesn't matter. Home, the heart of the internet or something like that is what they call it. I don't know. But it's the Ask Women thread, and I have linked it here in the show notes, but I've also linked it on the blog post, and you can actually read the entire thread on the blog post if you go there. I've embedded it there. So take a look at that if you want to get all of the advice. But these were just some of the favorites that we had, and they're kind of broken up into groups. So let's start with a couple of things that she was right about around your house. Oh man. Okay. This is from Only Texts. Clean a little every day so you don't have to spend the entire day cleaning at the end of the week. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's be clear, just because we know our moms were right does not mean we take this advice and
Oh,
do it ourselves.
that is absolutely true. Oh my god.
Like
I
we can
just
we can ignore
yeah, like we can acknowledge
we
we're
can
not doing it ourselves, right? Like
right, right,
this
right,
is
right,
absolutely correct. That doesn't mean I do it. And also, I just
right.
got into it with my
Let's
child about folding up a blanket, and he was like, "I just can't fold this blanket right now." And I was like, "Dude, I get it. Don't like, I understand." So
right, yeah. We just want to throw this out there that just because
right,
we agree that they are right does not mean that we put any of this stuff into
right, no,
practice
no.
ourselves.
Okay, okay, all right. So I'm not cleaning a little bit every day, but I do acknowledge that that's the way to do it. That said, I do
Right.
do a load of laundry every day because it does help.
Yeah. Yeah, that is
Okay.
true.
All
True,
right.
true. Um, the only way to get a clean kitchen floor is to get on your hands and knees. I effing hate that she was right about that. Thank you, MBW Rose.
Do you know how
Y-
true that is for me? Oh my
oh,
god. I can't
like
stand it.
it is, it is true.
It
I
is
mean,
a
it
real
really
clean
is.
floor. Like a steam mop
Right.
is great. Like, but I have wood look tile, and what I've learned about wood look
Mm-hmm.
tile is all of wood look also means a little bit of that texture, and all of the dirt
Mm-hmm.
settles in the texture, and the only way to get it up is to get on your hands and knees and scrub. And it is
Right.
do not recommend.
Yeah.
0 out of 5 stars.
No.
Okay.
No.
This one I thought was really good, and I actually kind of have this, but not the exact right way. Okay, so this one is my mom was right about one very important thing. Get a vertical file box and put your important ish in it. Insurance papers in a folder, healthcare records in another, birth certificate and social security cards, passport, etc., tax forms, all that important stuff you don't need until you need it and you can't find it. And that's from I've seen Herbivore one on Reddit. That is the coolest name ever. I love that one. That's a really that's a good one. Have you done that before? Have you taken all your stuff and put it in one place?
It's, yes, because, as the ADHD people we are, it'll be like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll be like, where's my social security card?
I like sleep
Like,
too much to do that, but I will panic when other people don't give me all of their documents and I put them in one place. So like
right.
we get home from a trip and
Um,
I'm like, "Husband, where is your passport? I need it right now." And he's like, it's right here. I have it. I'll go put it in the folder." Nope, you give it to me and I
no,
will put it in the folder.
right, exactly. So I don't use a file box anymore. I used to, but I actually got these fire and waterproof like envelopes,
Oh yeah. I've heard
and
that that's
I
really cool
used
too.
yeah, I used those instead because like dealing we used to have a safe for all that stuff,
Mm.
and dealing with getting in and out of a safe that was shoved in the corners of our closet was just, I mean, nobody was going to steal it because they would have to like get over all of the crap in front of it, and like for
Yes.
what? To get the title of our, at the time, like 15-year-old car? Sure, have at it.
Right, go for it. Go
But
nuts.
yeah. But yeah, I actually found those like waterproof, fireproof like folders. Not folders, they're like envelopes. They've got like a zipper on them and then
Yeah,
Velcro
yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
Like though I found those to be great. They're easy to store, and they're easy to pull out when you need them and all
If you have the
that.
link, you should give it to me and I'll put it on our favorite things page. That's
Yeah.
a good
Okay.
one. Okay.
Okay.
All right, on random stuff, mom was right about. Completely random stuff. This one spoke to my heart. Silence. As a teenager, it was so irritating and unthinkable to me as to why my mom never had her radio on when she was driving. Now, I mean, not never. Okay. To me, that was the time to crank it up. And now, guess who drives around in silence because it's the only gosh dang time I have to hear my own thoughts. That and I can't see when the radio's too loud. That one's mint julep on Reddit. So I can't see. I have a friend who did that in high school. We were like 17 and he's like, shh, I can't see. And then he would turn the radio down and I was like, hold on a second. I can't see. Those things don't make any sense.
It's so true.
But it is true,
No,
yeah.
I still have to have music on in the car, but I totally understand the need for stuff. That was me yesterday.
Yeah.
I think that was me yesterday. I'm
Yeah.
like, I just need to hear nothing but the buzzing in my ears
Right. The
because
voices in my head are all I need most of the time.
right.
Like,
Exactly.
seriously.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Oh my God. So Atomic Attorney 274. I always used to pick on my mom for changing into her pajamas right after dinner. Why? It's still light out. Dad, are you, I'm so bad at reading. This is why I don't narrate books.
I'll do it for you.
I know, I got it. I will too. I'll get it. Uh, okay.
No,
Restart.
we're leaving all that in.
Okay. Oh, I never said you could take it out. I'm just saying I'm restarting.
Okay. All right. Restart.
All right.
Atomic Attorney
Okay.
274 says.
It says, I always used to pick on my mom for changing into her pajamas right after dinner. Why? It's still light out. Dad and you are really not going to go out for the rest of the night? I wouldn't change until right before bed, just in case something fun came up. But now I change into comfy clothes as soon as I get home, no matter what time of day it is, and even if I know I'm going out later. And I prefer staying in now, even on the weekend.
Preach.
Yes. Yes. Now I
but
am
in
home
those
and
jammies.
right. So now I have daytime pajamas and nighttime
Oh,
pajamas because
seriously. Oh yeah.
I'm a yoga teacher who works at home. So
Yeah.
basically I live in some kind of pajamas, but I've got my day pajamas and my night pajamas. So,
I I definitely do this. The one thing I don't do, I I don't know what it is about me and being without shoes on. If I don't have shoes on, apparently I just sit all day long. But if I put my shoes on, like, or even just flip flops, just something on the bottom of my feet, I will actually get up and like do something productive. So I
yeah,
don't know what
I've heard
it's a
people do that.
yeah. But so I'll like wear like the comfiest possible clothes, at home and then put on shoes because slippers aren't it. Like I can't do slippers.
Right.
It's not enough of it anyway. But yes, this is
Right.
absolutely true.
Right.
Okay.
No, I get it. I get it.
This one had me cracking up when I read this. Stress and Screaming says, how dare my mom tell me my shyness would wear off as an adult and I'd be shaking my butt in the club with reckless abandon? Because when I got to 21, I froze my vicious twerking in the club as I was hit with the memory of her saying that to me, and I thought she was right. You're you're in the club and you're dancing and you're waiting. You're like, oh, mom told me I wouldn't be this shy anymore. That's hilarious. Get up even
I mean,
more.
just wait until you're in your late 30s, early 40s, and then like not to say that you're never shy again, but all those insecurities are gone.
Well, I think especially for those of us who have birthed a child, there is no shame
Mm-hmm.
anymore. Like you get to a point
No.
where you can't have shame because if you do,
Right. Right.
all of that will come. You'll relive it every day once
Yeah.
you have that child. It's awful.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
On beauty tips, my mom said your coat should hang below your skirt hem. I thought that was stupid and it made you look like a flasher. So I always wanted my coat to end a couple of inches above my skirt hem. No, she was right. It looks classier her way. And that's from A Little Night Musing. I love that one. And I've
Yeah.
always felt like I see what that person means by like looking like a flasher, but
Right.
I do think it looks better to have the hem lower than the skirt
Yeah.
line.
Yeah, I agree. It actually bothers me even with like regular jackets. Like when I wear like my puffy vest or something in the fall and I'll wear like a long cardigan
Oh,
underneath it and I like hate that the
when the
cardigan
cardigan
is
hangs out.
longer
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like depending on the length I'll like tuck it in.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I don't understand crop jackets. You have to wear a crop jacket with a cropped shirt.
Right.
I don't understand
Yeah.
anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Next one.
From Thomas and Anna,
I guess.
don't overpluck your eyebrows.
Gosh.
I'm I no I never did this.
You're
I don't
Italian.
think
You
I don't I don't think there's a way that I could overpluck my eyebrows as an Italian. Like that my facial hair is going to come back regardless of what I do with it. But as a child, as an elder millennial,
Oh, we know. We
we
know.
know just don't do it.
The number of women that I can like pinpoint ages because of the current thinness of their eyebrows because I know what we all did to ourselves back then. I never overdid it either because I've never had like the giant caterpillars that like became very
Hmm.
popular several years ago, right? I've always just had to clean them up, but I mean, there are still days where I'm like, man, I should have left that part because now
Hmm.
it's a little thinner than I want. But anyway. Okay,
Yep. Yep.
this one, I'm saying the word at the end of this because I have to. This is from a deleted user. I don't know who you are, but this is so true. Blend your foundation down your neck, damn it. Yes. And if you're putting the bronzer on your jawline, like blend that and then just make sure like there's no hard line on your neck.
Hmm.
We're not
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
for
Like
that look anymore. It's just not a thing.
Right. No, no. I'm actually going to New York, and my cousin is a makeup artist, and I texted her this morning and I was like, I need you to help me find a foundation
Yep,
that works
totally.
because I feel like this happens unintentionally where I get those like hard lines and it looks fine like
Until you see
in the
yourself
morning.
from the side or whatever, and you're like, oh.
Right.
I brushes are
Exactly.
your friend. Like I mean, I
I
will.
know.
I end up brushing it like into my hair almost because I'm just like
Hmm.
blend, blend, blend. Anyway, but
Yep. Yep. Yep.
oh,
Um, so PM me your cat's feet says
love Reddit so much. People are so funny.
this is why I'm not on Reddit. I am not this witty to come up with such a funny username.
Mine is just whatever the platform gave to me, but that's a good one. All right, PM me your cat's feet. So
So
good.
PM me your cat's feet says absolutely 100% sunscreen.
Oh, oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Yes.
Mom,
Yes.
you were so right. The number of times
Yep.
I would intentionally go out. I have red hair and freckles. What was I thinking? I would go out and
Mm,
cook myself. And I would
yep.
be in so much. There were some times where I burnt myself so bad I would throw up because I was like, no, I
Yeah.
don't need sunscreen. Let me put on some oil and see what happens. Literally cooking myself like
Yep.
Kramer in that Seinfeld episode. Insane. I
Yep.
wear sunscreen every
Yep.
day now. Oh,
Oh, yeah, definitely. And not even that. For us, it was more like the beach umbrella or like getting
oh,
under the shade. Like my mom was big about the shade, like get
yes.
in the shade, bring the umbrella. And I'm always like, why? Why do we got to do that? Why do we got to bring now? Forget it. Now I'm like, give me a tree.
Yeah,
I
if I
want to
don't
be in
have
the
shade,
shade.
I'm not going. Like
No,
I
no.
I will wear a hat. Like I hate hats
Hmm.
because I hate how I look in them, but I will wear a hat. I
Same.
mean, I use sunscreen every day. I have retinol all over my face because your girl's got to keep something on point here. And if everything else has gone to hell, then I've got to have something looking okay. So I retinol all the time. And I, like if there's no shade, I'm not going. I'm not going.
Right.
It's just not.
Yeah.
And it's Texas.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
Exactly. Yeah, and being in North Carolina, forget it. Like I will find the shade every I love the sun. I love my lizard time where I just
not. Yeah,
like
you do.
bask in a sun puddle, but I
Like a cat.
especially now, yeah, like a cat. Like I got to be in the shade at the beach. We have
Everywhere.
two umbrellas now.
Yep.
Yeah. I
And
get it.
it's not even about the heat. It's about the
Hmm.
sun cover. Like
Yeah.
in Texas, you're going to be hot no matter where you stand. It's not about that. It's about cooking myself. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So true. Sorry, mom. You're right. Okay. On life lessons, this is where it's going to get a little deep sometimes. Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, my mom complained about how quickly time passed. Oh, my mom always says the days are long, but the years are short.
Mhm.
It seemed like she was always telling me that time just flew by and it was already almost Christmas or time for school to start up again or the weekend already. To me, time dragged like a snail through molasses. And now that I'm much older, I cannot believe the speed at which time passes. I'm complaining about it being Monday and in no time at all. I'm sitting at Thursday, then the weekend is here and gone, back around, then again. Mom was right. That's from Monkey Cat Dog.
Yeah.
So true, right? Like,
Yeah.
awful.
Yep.
Days are long,
I agree.
years are short.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. That's very, very true. All right. Bell0516 says, I thought my mom was just trying to make me feel better and not hurt my self esteem even more when she'd tell me that people at my middle school and high school were just shallow and immature. She told me that I wasn't the problem. I just went to school with kids who were too mean or stupid to appreciate what I had to offer. Now, as an adult and a teacher myself, I realize that my mom was right. I was a little quirky, gifted, identified only child who had braces, acne, freckles, frizzy hair, and I was fat. Girl, I get you. I feel that. but I had a good heart and I was true to myself. There are a lot of shallow and cliquey people out there who don't care if they bring other people down.
Oh, that one like
Man,
breaks my
middle school
heart.
and high school's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, that one hurts. She's right. I
Yeah.
mean, it's so hard to see it when you're in it. Like that's part
Mm-hmm.
of why I taught
Oh,
middle
yeah, yeah,
school
yeah.
because it's like middle school is the worst part of my life. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I've been through a lot of stuff as an adult, and middle school was by far the worst, and where most of
Right.
my
Yeah.
trauma comes from. And I told, oh, this poor thing, but her mom was right.
Yep.
This one, the patriarchy, lol. I used to roll my eyes when my mom would point out problematic patterns in our society. Like when I was watching The Little Mermaid, she would remark that it's not the best message to send to little girls, amen, that the main character gambles away her family that loves her for the chance of being with an older man when she's only 16 years old. At the time, I insisted it was romantic. Now I'm like, WTF was that? Kool-Aid Girl 40. It's so true. It's so
It is
problematic.
true.
It's so problematic.
Yeah.
And like there were shows that would be, that are popular shows that my mom was like, no, you can't watch that. That's like The Simpsons I was
Right.
not allowed to watch when I was a kid because like the messaging, while it as an adult, it's it's meant for adults. It's not a kids show, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to
Right. Right.
be
Right.
a
Right.
cartoon for adults. And as an adult now, I understand and see the humor and the nuance and how valuable that show actually is. But as a child, like
Mm-hmm.
just because it's a cartoon does not mean it's meant for kids. And my mom was
Right.
very aware of that. And I have to say she's definitely right about some of those patriarchy things for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Definitely.
Oof.
Be careful who you choose to spend your time with. She was right. I invested too much time and emotions into a scummy and abusive ex-boyfriend and sketchy so-called friends, all who hurt me in the long run, and I'm still recovering from the scars. I just wish she was still alive so I could thank her and
Oh,
hug her.
oh,
Ritz to
baby.
fly.
Oh, baby, sweet girl. Oof. Yep.
Yeah, she's right.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely,
Be careful who
definitely
you
right.
choose to spend time with. Very true. Okay.
Yeah.
My mom is from the Caribbean, and she had this weird saying when I was a teenager: your friends will bring you out, but they won't bring you back. It means people or friends will help you get into sticky situations, but they won't necessarily help you get out of them. And that was Ash tea time. Seriously, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. That
oof.
kind of like that relates to the one before it because like your ride or dies will be the people that will get you into trouble, but then they're going to get you out of trouble
Or at least take
too.
accountability with you. Like,
Right,
right? Like,
exactly. Right, 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 right. Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
why you and I text each other with a shovel on a regular basis. If you know, you know the shovel, what it means. Am I
You
wrong? Like,
cannot
no.
change. No, oh, no,
No, no.
no, no. Like, I
There's a
mean,
reason we
it's
text you and I and our two girlfriends, Joey and Brenna. We love you. They're also moms. The first thing that comes out when it's like, can I vent or I'm angry, can I share? One of us will show the shovel. Like we know what's
right.
coming.
Before we even like, before the
We don't even know
story is
what it
even
is,
shared, it's
right?
just like, yeah,
Yeah.
all right, I got it.
And
I'll meet you there.
it's usually like, you know, I love my husband and I would like to use the shovel. Um or the insurance in this country makes me crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Or whatever it may be. It doesn't, but it could literally be like, oh my gosh, my dog threw up again, and we're like, shovel, here we go. Like it's awful. Like we don't mean we're gonna kill the dog. That sounds really bad. But
No,
no, but the
no,
shovel
no,
comes
no,
out
no.
whenever one of us is frustrated. Those are the people
Yeah,
you should be
yeah.
spending your time with.
Right, right.
Okay.
Absolutely. You cannot change someone, accept them for who they are, or leave them alone. Individual cry zero.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
You
mama
cannot fix
said.
him.
Nope.
You cannot
But he
fix
loves
them.
me. Nope.
No,
No, he don't.
no, you cannot fix them.
No,
No,
you can't fix him.
no.
And that
Save,
applies to
save
like
those.
yeah, I'm just thinking like what about well, he doesn't want kids, but I do. Maybe he'll change. No. Like no.
No.
Don't. Don't
No.
invest your time in someone who
No, no,
doesn't.
no. Definitely not. Save those ones for your books. Like save the I can fix him for your fictional characters. You know, like save it for that.
And then come on this show and I'll write a promo for you. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. Here we go. We were
Okay.
alternating and
Well, that's I put them in an order that came up
I
right.
know.
Yeah.
Right. And you put it in purple too. And still, my brain was like, eh.
All right.
Similarly, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Minute Fade is who
Amen.
said that.
Mm-hmm. Oof. Yep. Well, the truths are hitting a little hard right now. Okay. My mom used to tell me that a relationship wasn't over while I was sad. It was over when I was angry. And here's why. When you're sad, you're reminiscing about the good times and you're vulnerable to going back despite the problems that caused you to break up in the first place. Oh my gosh, so true. But when you're angry, you're actually looking at the things that went wrong and you are mad at yourself for dealing with that for so long. Oh my gosh. I hated when she would say, just wait a few weeks after a breakup because in my teens and 20s, a breakup was world ending. LOL. But she would also tell me, get angry when I wallowed for too long. Now, in my 30s, I know she didn't mean to actually be an angry, bitter ex. She meant to shift the focus from sorrow of what was lost to a determination of what I deserve. That's Pink Fire 1010. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Man, that's like 5 years worth of therapy in just a
Right?
couple of paragraphs.
This is
Yeah.
why Reddit is the heart of the internet. This and trolls, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
I feel like I need to like just carry that with me.
Yep.
Although in my
Yeah.
house, the
Agreed.
line in our house is no divorce, only murder. But that's how we that's how we do things. Life insurance.
Uh,
Anyway, okay. We got a couple
uh,
more.
Quebec Mafia Woman says, when you're in a fight with someone and you want to text or phone call them, write out a text or a script and then sleep on it and decide the next day whether or not you want to send it. I always thought she was acting like a doormat or was afraid of confrontation. I'm definitely afraid of confrontation, I'll tell you right now.
Mhm.
But I realized that as I got older, how much easier relationships are when you take some time to mull over your reaction and see if the feeling passes. Yeah, I agree with that too. Because often by the time I am done writing that text, I have gotten over whatever it was.
Uh, I come from a line of people who uh, we do not forget things. Like, I forget like random things in front of me, but like stuff like this that's hurtful, I don't forget this stuff, but I am able to kind of move on from it.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to not get it's not that I'm not angry about it, it's that I've compartmentalized it and put it away in a space in my brain where it doesn't need to take up any more of my emotional energy. But if I do think
Mm-hmm.
about it again, I will get mad. So usually what I will do is write it out and then bless the ADHD gods for giving that to me so that I forget about it and then I'll not send it. But like
Right.
I yes, this is true. I just tend to hold on to it for a little bit longer.
Yes.
This is why I still don't shop at
Yes.
Best Buy. That's a different story. Okay. As much as I hate to admit it and still get annoyed when I hear this phrase, sometimes it just is what it is. My mom used to
Nope.
say that during certain situations and it would put me into a blind fury. But as I've raged, oh, no, not as I've raged, as I've aged, I realize that this is true sometimes and we just have to deal with whatever it is. That's from Red Jessa. I I think that that phrase is used incorrectly more often than not. I don't think it means like it is what it is and you can't do anything about it. I think that's the part that makes people angry. I think that phrase is meant to mean you have to accept that as a reality, and then before
Hmm.
you can do anything about it, right?
Right,
So I
right.
think if you look
Yeah,
at it from that point of view, and again, that phrase is maddening to me too, because it's like, well, it shouldn't be that way, right? But that's
right,
not
right,
the point. The point is to just take a step back and go, okay, yes, that is the reality. I have to accept that as the circumstance. Now I can work with that to take the next step.
right. Exactly. Yeah, it's accepting the present so that you can, like you said, take the next step, move on from there. It's like, okay, like, well, yes, it is what it is. This is where I'm at right now. No, I cannot change what is happening right now, but how am I going to respond to it?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. She was right. I do need a coat and I will be cold. Thank
Yes.
you, Dems.
Dems
I don't know how to.
Dems DSTBA
D.
Dems
BA.
blah.
Yeah.
Cool. But how true is that? Like the number of times I'd be like, "It's okay. I'm just gonna go out in my sweatshirt." Or how many do you have that fight with your son? It's freezing cold out. Put on a jacket. No, I'm fine.
uh
You're not fine.
yeah.
Ugh.
And now we like we'll take it and we just like shove it in his backpack.
Yeah,
So like,
I
all right,
don't even
fine,
do
be
that. I'm like,
cold.
here's the jacket. You can wear a sweatshirt and a jacket. You can wear a hat, like wear what you want. But I'm not going to take responsibility if you're cold later because you do have reasons
Totally.
outside. So
Yeah.
deal with it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so those are the ones that we crowdsourced. But everyone has momisms. Not everyone. If you have momisms, we want to hear them. So that's one thing. But I wanted to hear Ariella's mom's momisms, and then I'll share mine.
Yeah. So she doesn't have momisms per se, but aside from, I'm not yelling, I'm talking loudly, which is pretty much every Italian family can relate to. Um,
I've got one.
so yeah, so there's a lot of like I talked to my brother and my sister about this. There's a lot of oh, I get it now
Yeah.
moments. Like so
Yeah.
not necessarily like she was right because there's nuance and everything,
Right.
but like oh, I get it now. And some of these are prioritizing work-life balance. So when my mom was at work, and I worked with my mom for a year, so I saw this. When she was at work, she was focused only on her job. She didn't gossip with her coworkers. She didn't waste time. She wasn't like me, who would be like, I need to go find some dopamine and like wander off and whatever. If I had to call her at the office, she got me off the phone so fast. But as soon as her shift ended, like as soon as she clocked out, you don't like if you were her, if you were her coworker, you don't call her at home, you don't email at her home. She does not exist outside of the office, and she would tell you that because
Wow.
it happened a
Way to
couple of times.
enforce
Yeah.
that boundary. That's pretty
Oh
impressive.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I should say my mom is from Italy, so they have a completely different idea of work-life balance. And she was like, "No, I leave the office. This is not this is your responsibility. This is a you problem." Um, yeah,
Oh, she needs to just come over here and slap my hand sometimes.
I know, I know. No, I get it. I mean, it's a different
Different.
time
Yeah,
now,
it's a different
but
time,
it's
but
a
it's
different
also
world.
like,
Yeah,
but it's also still really necessary to draw that line. It's a good one.
absolutely. Yeah. One thing we always did growing up is we had dinner as a family
Hmm.
whenever we could. But if we could not have dinner as a whole family, my mom was really good about making sure she sat with us while we ate so you weren't eating alone. And it was
Oh.
no like no granted like there are times when you're just like I just want to eat in peace and
Yeah.
everything, but she always took that time to sit with you and take it as a time to like catch up and see how things were
That's really nice.
going and just so like you weren't just
Eating
you
by
weren't
yourself.
eating alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
um Movement and getting outside every day, that yeah,
Yes.
I do that a lot now. I mean, not the movement part, but the getting outside every day. Um,
Sometimes you
she
just
was
crack the
the
window. It's fine.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh, that's another one. Window, like opening the window is definitely
Fresh air.
better.
Yes.
Fresh air is good, but I live in North Carolina, so I am not giving up my central air at
No.
any point
No.
in time.
Absolutely not.
But I do use the windows whenever I can. She definitely what we kind of what she was right about was never being like too old to achieve a goal or switch your
Mm.
paths. So she went back to college when she was in her early 40s. I think she was actually 42 when she went back to college, which is my age now, to get her associate's degree. And just having that family support of making a switch like in midlife,
Mm.
which is what we all tend to do now because we
Yeah. No, I'm
all
on my second career, so like,
exactly
yeah.
exactly and kind of with that the intergenerational family dynamics. So like my grandmother lived with us for a little while,
Mm.
and mostly so like my mom could go back to school, and I don't think that works for that definitely doesn't work in like this stage of life in our society, the intergenerational
Yeah, not
living.
for every
But
family. Yeah.
right, but even having like the help from parents and the helps from mothers and grandmothers, like i
Mm.
i don't think when my grandmother was living with us and chasing me around with a wooden spoon, I don't think I definitely did not appreciate what she was doing for my mother until I had my own kid
Yeah.
and was like, oh man, I really could use a grandma around. Not to chase my kid with a wooden spoon, but
But maybe,
but
you know,
maybe.
maybe,
Yeah.
if it helps.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's what we came up with.
I like that. My mom has a few. I also reached out to my siblings for this. And I have a brother and three sisters, and I think I got most of them. She only has a few that we. I mean, she has a lot, but there's only a few that we all were like, no, they have to be in this episode. So one of them is make it about whatever they need. I have sort of twisted this on its head for myself, and it's see a need, fill the need, right? It's like if
Mm,
there's something that needs to be done, just do it. There's like there's this kind of thing sweeping the internet of like notice and do, right? You see something
right.
weird, do something about it. You see something that needs to get done, take 3 minutes and do it, whatever it is. But hers, make it about whatever they need. It's really, especially for like work. Like, what does your client need? What does the person want? Like, if you're trying to get a job, what do they
Mhm.
need out of you? Like that's how
Right.
then you steer the conversation in that direction. Be editing that out. Okay. This one, which she said to us all the time, she still says, and she's probably gonna be annoyed that I don't really know exactly the origin of this, although I have heard it comes from George Carlin and a few other people. But it's you can pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose. Have you heard that line before?
Oh, my father says it constantly.
Yeah,
He still says it.
yeah. So for a long time, I did not understand what that meant, and I feel like there's two meanings to this, but one of them is mind your own business, like
Hmm.
like
Right.
stay out of
Yeah.
other people's business, right? That's probably the main one. But I also thought, like, there is a piece of this where you can choose your actions, you can choose who you spend your time with, but you can't choose what they do or how they react to your actions, right? Like, there's a lot
Right.
that you can control, but there's a lot that's outside of it, and just you're gonna have to understand that part of it. But the mind your
Yeah.
business is probably the one that makes the most sense, anyway.
Yeah. I think my dad told it to us literally so that
Yeah.
you're
Well,
free to really pick your own nose, but don't do it to anybody else.
right. Well, and if you were to search that meaning on the internet, because I just to see if I was right about what I had assumed it meant, I
Yeah.
searched. And people are like, I thought it just meant you couldn't pick up people's nose, like, or keep your finger up. And then the other thing that came up was like, why it's dangerous to pick your nose. And I was like, that's not really what I was going for. But also, don't tell me what to do. Just kidding. Sometimes when you gotta do what you gotta do. If you have a bat in the cave, man, get that out. And if you have a bat in the cave and you don't know, I'll tell you, and I'll tell you to go get it out. Anyway.
That's a good friend.
Another momism. This is one of my favorites. People are stupid. She's like, I know. People are stupid. And she's not like trying to be hurtful at all. She's just trying to, like, if you're complaining about people who are dumb, she's going to say, I know. People are stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just, I think she means like the masses in general. You know, it's like the whole not every man, but always a man kind of statement. Right? It's like, I know. People are stupid. And I think she just wanted us to stop complaining about dumb people, but whatever. This is my favorite one. And she'll go, what's the rule? And you already know it's coming. And she'll go, do not F thyself. It's always with a thyself also, right? So like, just don't do something that later you is going to hate, right? Like, but those are good. My mom's got some gems. All right. So this is one I've come up for myself, and I plan to share it with my son when the time is right. But this is kind of taking all of that stuff together from what my mom has said, and this is my own momism that I use now. And it's, people are not anti-you. They are pro-them. So like, I'm just thinking about like, you're on the road. This is really when it occurs to me the most. You're driving, and for some reason, you are the car that everyone decides to cut it in front of. I don't know why, but it's you. Happens to me all the time. Or there'll be like 3 or 4 in a row, and I'm like, what am I doing? There's no space. Because the 2 other cars just took that space. What are you doing? You're trying to get killed. It's not that they're anti-me as a person. They're not looking at my car and going, oh, you have a buoy magnet on your car? You suck. I'm going to cut you off. It's pro them. And especially in a time that we are in right now where it feels like the empathy is lacking everywhere I look, I'm having to remind myself, yes, there are people who are anti-you, depending on who you are. Yeah. Right?
Right.
And in general, people are not trying to necessarily be super selfish to the point where they neglect other people. It's that they're looking out for their own best interest. So that's something that
that's a good one.
Thank you. When I feel like life isn't fair, and when I feel like my son says stuff like that, I have to go, they're not anti-you, they're pro-them, they're being selfish, not because they're trying to be, but because they're looking out for themselves. So,
I like it.
Thanks, Mom. Love you. Let's take a quick
break. Thanks,
Mom. There won't be that much to edit in that. That's good. Yeah. Okay. And back. You have obsessions? Yes?
Yeah. Okay. So I don't want to say I just discovered it. I finally remembered to listen to it. But the podcast Wild Card with Rachel Martin.
Tell me.
It's an NPR produced podcast, I think. I'm almost positive. And she interviews celebrities using cards. So there'll be 3 questions on a card, or I'm sorry, there'll be 3 cards with a question on each card, and the celebrity has to pick card 1, 2, or 3. And that is how the there are questions about like, and the questions are about the celebrity's life usually. So the first one that I listened to was with Brett Goldstein, Roy Kent.
Yes.
It was phenomenal. It was such a fun interview. That particular episode is not family friendly. But I did just listen to the one with Weird Al Yankovic, and that one is family friendly. So I will say that.
That's awesome.
So so it's been, I mean, aside from your podcast, I listen to a lot of like investigative journalism and,
I love those.
I
Like
listen to a
deep
lot of,
dives.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like deep dive type stuff. So kind of depressing sort of stuff. And I needed something a little bit more lighthearted.
Yeah.
Um,
That was how I
and
got into
yeah.
smart lists for a while was I was listening to a
Hmm.
lot of true crime and I needed something lighter. I do need to listen to I'm gonna call her Leslie Nope, but I know that's not her name. Amy Poehler's new podcast.
Yeah.
It looks super cute and just looks like she has a lot of fun on that one. So that's I've also been
Yeah.
listening to Anatomy of Murder a lot more lately. That's a really good one if you like true crime. Okay. All right, I'm gonna add it to my list. I'm gonna do it.
Do it.
Mine
Do it.
is The Traitors.
I know
So,
this, but I don't know this.
okay, so this is a reality TV show. I'm sure it started in the UK and the US stole it as we know.
Hmm.
Um, it is a group of 20 people who come to a castle in Scotland. The goal is to earn as much money as possible by completing challenges as a group of 20 people. Uh, but in the
Okay.
group, there are people who are named traitors. Everyone who's
Hmm.
not a traitor is a faithful. Whoever's left at the end of the game wins the money. So if there are only faithfuls left at the end of the game, then all the faithfuls
Hmm.
get to split the money. However, if there's even one traitor left among the group, that traitor takes all of it. And
Wow.
it's like, so it's 20 people, they eliminate 2 people a day.
Uh,
It goes fast, and the level of not backstabbing, because that's not it. It's the people who
uh-huh.
think they can read people really, really well. They're like, I know this person's a traitor, and they are not even close. Like, I was watching
Right.
one where I was watching the British version, and
Mm.
everyone at the end raised a glass. And the one woman who didn't raise a glass got called out for being a traitor. Well, what you don't know about that woman, or what she then tells you is, you know why I didn't raise a glass? Because I don't have a right hand. I lost it in an accident, and the glass was on my right. So it's awkward for me to reach across and raise the glass. And they eliminated her anyway. I was
Oh
like,
my
oh my,
God.
just because she didn't raise a glass. Like, it is wild. And then the people who are like, I worked in government. I was in the police, and I know who's lying, and they are dead wrong. Like, I cannot stop
Every
watching.
time.
Every
Every
time
time.
they're
Yeah.
always wrong.
Yeah.
And the American version is good too. They like bring on kind of a mix of celebrities and regular people. And by celebrities, I mean like
Mhm.
reality TV star celebrities, like people who were on Big
Right.
Brother
Right.
or
Right.
like
Yeah.
Bravo.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I cannot stop watching. It's so good. If you
That
like,
sounds like that.
it's fun. It's fun drama.
It
And
sounds like murder mystery dinner.
yes, yes,
You
it
know,
is a
like,
little bit like Clue.
yeah.
It is
Sound
giving
yeah.
Clue
It
vibes
sounds
for
very
sure.
like Clue.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Gems. Do you have any? It's okay if you don't, because I have a kind of a big one.
I can't remember like anything that happened this week.
I know I laughed about a lot of things this week, but I can't.
I
I'm not smart
know.
enough to write them down in the moment, so it is what it
I
is.
know. It
So,
was, you know what was kind of cute. I will say this. Um my kid is obsessed with these Minecraft chapter books,
mm,
and the other day after I got done like doing my PT in the morning, when I walked by his door, his I think he was still sleeping or something, but by the time I finished doing my PT and I went to go wake him up for school, he was already awake and he was reading his book, like all in
oh,
bed and stuff.
the
And I was just like,
cutest.
oh my
Oh,
God, my little
I
reader.
know.
Oh,
I love when you catch them doing that. We have flashlights for reading late at night, and those flashlights have yet to run out of batteries because
we've got
I take them
a
and I refill
little
them. A little reader.
yeah, we got a little because he's got a shelf like right next to his bed. So it's one of those
Mm.
like click
Yeah,
like
like a clip
you
light.
know
Yeah.
Yeah, clip light. And so he can use that. Apparently, like one night he woke up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and instead of coming into our bed like he usually does, he read his book for a half hour and then maybe came into our bed.
Oh,
So
I mean,
yeah.
if it keeps them out of doing it, but
Yeah. No, no, I take it back. Then he came into our bed, I think. Yeah.
Uh, um, that is cute. So mine is, if you're listening to this in May of 2025, I have been nominated for a Women Podcasters Award in the Education Podcast category.
Woo!
So I would love it if you're a listener, if you could vote for me. I will put the link in the show notes. It'll be right at the top. And it will also be on our website. And you'll probably get a pop up every time you show up on the website, which don't care, go vote. I would love to have your support. That's my gem. And please vote for
Yeah.
me.
Yes.
Really cool.
I'm glad you mentioned it because you did send us the link for
Yeah,
it,
you're required
and
to vote if you haven't already. If you've been
yes.
on
Oh
my
yeah.
show and you're not nominated, you need to go vote for me.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Valerie,
I
Deborah, go vote.
yeah, I need to. It was my phone was not happy about it.
Mm.
I think
It's
wherever
a
I
Google
was,
form,
the
so
web.
it's not a hard thing to do, and I'll put the link directly to me. Like if you go to,
Okay.
you click on my page, and then there's a big old button at the bottom that says vote. So all you have to do is
Yeah, I think
fill
I
out the
saw it
Google
at
form.
work where like the internet sucks at my job, and maybe
Yeah.
that's when I was like, "Oh, let me do this right now," and then it was like,
Well, you have the
no.
link in front of you right now, so you
I
can do it.
do. I'm gonna do it. I am gonna do it.
Yes. Okay, that's all I have. Happy Mother's
That's all
Day
I
to
got
all of
too.
the people who celebrate, whoever, how, in whatever way you celebrate, whether it's kicking your kids out for 24 hours, good for you. That's a great way to celebrate. Or
Hmm.
it's honoring your mom in some way, or it's giving your doggies a snuggle, whatever it needs to be, however you feel like you want to honor the mom figure in your life. Have a great one.
Or honor yourself. And you're a mom and you want to honor yourself, you
Heyo.
should.
You really should, especially
You
if you have
absolutely
young
should.
kids.
Yeah.
Man, you are in the trenches, my friends.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
With that, Jenny would say, make good choices. Love you, Mom.
Bye.